good morning?
Ish.
Good morning, ish. This is possibly record-breaking times. Time being an operative word here. We have never, ever gone live with a scoop this late, I don't think. Apart from... Do you know what, actually? We're almost at the time when we went live for the Christmas special one, which was 3 o'clock or something like that. So, but this is supposed to be in the morning. Nice! Hey, how you doing? Welcome, twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name, as you can see on the screen, is Green D, and I'm joined by the man that we call...
To be fair, we're probably more closer to 10 p.m. in some areas of the world than we are 10 a.m.
Let's leave that alone. Let's leave it alone. It's busy day. I've had 3 meetings, I think, already so far today, plus the emails and stuff. But it's just one of those things. How are we all doing, though? You guys all good? Are you all okay? I mean, I say you're all okay. Obviously, you're okay, because we provide you with a service to vent. Because if you want to see a few... Do you know what? It's like when you go to a bus stop and you've got a bunch of old babies going, where's this bloody bus? Should have been here 3 hours ago.
So It wasn't. Simple as that.
Yeah, we came in at 10 o'clock. There was no one here. So we thought, do you know what's on it?
It's like going to the club too early, do you know what I mean? No one the club doors open at 7. No one's going there till 9:30, 10 o'clock, do you know what I mean?
Nah.
There's no chance you've been seen in a gaff like that before.
So basically, we're all cool kids, is what we're trying to say. So you guys are here late, we're here late. It's fine. This is just the way it works. It's all good. Okay, let me jump back up through the chat. Let me see what we missed. Tito says, talking about old ladies. Tito says, what bloody time do you call this? Nice. Good morning. Thank you for allowing us to carry you, not all the way to victory, but just, I mean, it's
the second.
Yeah, it's quite tiring carrying someone all that way, but it was good.
I watched that match in the bath.
It was not bad, actually. It's not bad. Baby in the bath time. Nice.
It was.
I don't think we can hit replay of the alerts in the studio, so we'll just imitate it. I'll do the triangle shape and Bibby will do the voice.
Stay frosty, yeah.
There you go.
I can do if I run over to the PC over there, but that's just
okay. You got stay frosty, yeah.
Stay frosty,
Nice. Yeah. so West with the 14 months sub. Thank you very much, West. Tito with the ish. West with massive ish. Good lunchtime, gents. It's not for us because we're postponing our lunch so we can do this scoop now. You've all finally turned up. Honestly. Not a scoop, it's an afternoon delight. Honestly, that's me. We were here at 10, nobody was here. What time do you call this? Doctors in the chats. Hey, thank you very much as well yesterday for extending your sub all the way through to January, which is ridiculous. As we were talking about last night, me and Bib could just pack up streaming tomorrow. You never know. So you may be a sub till January. But I appreciate it. Thank you very much. We're going to be here till January. Don't worry. We need to see Bibby demonstrating the Twitch fart meta.
There's enough clips of that on stream. I swear to God, during lockdown, they were just half of the course.
That clip where you see where we've added the thingy in because with the start music, it's kind of hard to tell it. But at that point in time, we were talking about Gamescom or something.
Yeah, but something quite serious.
And Baby just kind of goes.
But there's one. I was looking through for clips. For something that we was going to be doing, and there's one called Donald Trump, and it's just us playing Masters of the League, and again, just let him rip. But he throws you off guard because you're doing something that's you're trying to do voices for players, and you're trying to get them into the zone, and you just say,
your fucking left cheek squeak.
Who's that, Castolo again?
Good deal.
Fighting about.
Where do we get to? Just about to pop out for lunch. Gonna miss most of it. Ruined my whole day. Ruined, I tell you. God damn it, Tito. Me too. Says Gagad, inconsiderate bar steward. Just take your seat. It's fine. Chill out. Enjoy your lunch with us. I've watched this advert more times than I care to admit, says Chappers. My question is, when am I getting paid for my Discord messages being used? Feel like I'm a budding software dev with a good idea, and y'all are Streamlabs. No, we just saw them and we thought that was a good idea, so we used it to inspire our ideas, which were exactly the same, just without your name on them.
Arguably, I got there first with the story that he put forward, but I just thought I'd go, do you know what? Really thanks for supplying us with this news today, Tito. You're the best. It's a confidence booster, do you know what I mean? Some people need that on a Thursday morning. Well, afternoon now.
I wish it was Chappers that said it, but yeah, it's fine.
Sorry.
God damn it, Tito.
I apologise.
And there's still 3 minutes to go, says Gaga. Don't worry, we're here now. What, Mom? What's for dinner? The other podcast I listened to is about to start like a bus, I expect 1 and 3 turn up. There you go. Franny, how's things, dude? Welcome in. Just in time for the UK's #1 video game podcast, if we do say so ourselves. You guys know who we are. I'll put the names on the screen anyway, just to remind you. My name's Graham. I'm joined by Bib. We are Ice Cream Uploads, and in true Ice Creamy fashion, this is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast. If we do say so ourselves, we go live on Twitch each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.
Somewhere.
We'll get rid of the ish and just have a somewhere. We go live at 10 a.m. somewhere. 10 a.m.-ish. We go live at 10 a.m.-ish each and every single weekday. This is the worst-ish that we've ever had. It's now just about 1 p.m. So 3 hours late. It's all right. It's 10 a.m.-ish. We do work in the video games industry, so the podcasts fit in around the work, which is where the ish comes from. But anyway, we do go live on Twitch, bringing you the biggest, the best, the breaking stories from the world of video games. We then give you our thoughts and impressions. We then want your thoughts and impressions. We then want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions, and it's important that you do that. Get involved in the chat live on Twitch, because this live stream gets turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes and Spotify and SoundCloud and Google Play. Lots of places where people, over 105,000 people, have watched and listened to this podcast on demand. So make sure you get involved with your thoughts and impressions on behalf of everyone else. Nice. Before we jump in, reminders, ! Loot drop. We announced the loot drop pricing yesterday on social media. You will see that one subscriber will get 2 prizes this month. Not only will a subscriber get a game of their choice, within reason, but that subscriber as well will also bag themselves one of these super limited edition first run Ice Cream Uploads baseball caps. That's either a blackout hat or one of the blue ones that we have. One person will bag those prizes, and if it's not Nietzsche, I expect he's going to lose his mind. But just is what it is. It is what it is. As well as that, actually, I'm saying as well as that, Bib is just about to drop the link to that in the chat. If you haven't seen it, the link will be in the chat for you guys to check it out. Do us a favour, go to that tweet, hit retweet on it, and also do yourself a favour. Everyone that's a subscriber can be entered into this. So if your nan has Amazon Prime, you know, Black Friday's coming up. So if your nan's got Amazon Prime, get her to sign up to Twitch. Get her to link her Twitch Prime to a Twitch, Amazon Prime to a Twitch account. She'll get Twitch Prime Gaming sub, drop it on the channel. If she wins, you get yourself an Ice Cream Uploads hat.
Exactly.
Get all your nans.
I mean, you'd probably rather have the hat. Also, by the way, did you see this message that came through last night?
I didn't know. Oh, I actually saw an email that came through about that. Like they emailed us as well.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
All right, I didn't see that. I just when I logged in this morning, I saw that. I was like, that's fantastic.
I ignored the email, so I was like, yeah, but yeah. Anyway, loads of people want to speak to us. Nice, great. So yeah, as well as the loot drop, I want to remind you about ! Insert coin, because me and Bibby had a pact. We were bringing in our insert coin merch today. We've both got fresh, snazzy bomber jackets. You can see mine here on top of my insert coin hoodie, and you can see where's your insert coin bomber jacket, babe?
Right next to my dinner.
And where's your dinner, babe?
Right next to the coffee machine cleaner fluid.
And where's that, babe?
In Hyde somewhere.
It's only about 60, 70 miles away. It's fine.
I left the house this morning with just my brew and the car keys. So yeah, good times all around.
Big place.
Can't
wait until I've moved before you post my loot drop. I can wait until I've moved. Okay, there you go. ! Insert finger.
Right next to the loot group.
That's the after hours scoop. That's the ! Insert coin, and that's not popped anything up. Is that because we don't have a command for insert coin in the studio?
Probably.
Oh, it's all right. Just go to official insert coin on Twitch. There you go. I'm making it easier for you, ish. I don't know. Just pretend. Nice.
I think we have got ! Lurk, haven't we? I'm fairly certain we have. I had to manually update loads of them because whatever you exported to me wouldn't work when I tried to put it into this. Oh, maybe not. Oh, that's a fucking disgrace.
Loot drop.
Yeah, that one works.
Oh, well, we've got the loot drop one.
That'll be an old link, that I think, as well.
Yeah, that is old. But we'll update it with a new link. But do you know what? Fine, it's fine. We're just too busy working on the important things rather than chatbot commands. We're too busy working on getting you guys prizes like ice cream uploads, baseball hats, and all the rest. And you know what? Just pulling together the news. We have a bunch of stories for you guys today, including the fact that the Xbox boss. I have to say that slowly because Bibby said Xbox box before we went live. Nobody saw it, but it happened.
Yeah. No, I'm going to deny it.
Well, the Xbox boss wants you to pirate games. That might be a bit clickbait. That's not what the actual article says. It says Xbox boss wants the games industry to embrace legal emulation. So that's the first story of the day. We'll then jump into the PlayStation boss as Jim Ryan addresses Activision Blizzard's response to abuse allegations. We'll then move into the fact that modders have begun fixing, air quotes, fixing the GTA Trilogy following last week's backlash. And the final story of the day is that Xbox Cloud Gaming has officially launched for consoles. Nice. Nice. So, we will jump into the first news story of the day now. Let's go. Okay. This one is written by Mr. Jeff Grubb at GamesBeat, VentureBeat. And the title once again says, Xbox boss wants the games industry to embrace legal emulation. So like any creative medium, video game developers rely on a certain amount of riffing on other people's ideas. But in order to evolve... Streamlabs bunch.
Ripping them off entirely!
But in order to evolve an existing concept, people need ways to easily access older works. That is something that is more challenging in video games due to the nature of software and hardware compatibility. And Xbox boss Phil Spencer wants the industry to embrace emulation to solve that problem. Quote, my hope, and I think I have to present it that way as of now, is as an industry, we'd work on legal emulation that allowed modern hardware to run any, within reason, older executable, allowing someone to play any game, Spencer wrote in a message to Axios. This is something that Microsoft's gaming division is already doing with its software. The company's latest gaming hardware, the Xbox Series X and S, can run many games originally released for Xbox 360 and the OG Xbox. That is all thanks to software emulation that Microsoft built internally. According to Spencer, emulation is valuable because it makes more of the history of gaming available to individuals, and that is crucial for creating something akin to a modern public library for gaming software. Quote, I think we can learn from the history of how we got here through the creative, Spencer said. I love it in music and I love it in movies and TV, and there's positive reasons for gaming to want to follow. The most, end quote, the most obvious positive reason is for educational purposes. Empowering a student to easily access older games to learn design and mechanical lessons could lead to better games in the future, and that benefits everyone. Emulation, of course, is already legal in most cases. The complications come from distributing copyrighted software, which enjoy lengthy legal protections. End of the article. So, Mr. Bibb.
Yes.
As you can see, with the discussing now on screen, Xbox boss wants you to pirate games.
Yeah, obviously.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've made that clickbait title just for clickbait purposes.
It was just a grain fact. Is that you?
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, I was trying to remember them because I thought it was just exclamation mark grain, but it wasn't. It was grain fact.
He's been the champ. Yes.
Yeah, obviously I'm not. Well, yeah. Is it Luke that still is?
Luke technically
CS:GO?
still the champ.
Yeah.
When Connor did me dirty and robbed me of 3 milliseconds, but yeah, whatever.
Oh.
Sorry for those. Can't hear Bibby. Unfortunately, we can hear Graham. I don't think that's true though.
Hello.
This is the same.
Oh,
this is the same mic stuff.
Hello.
Bizarre. I mean, I think he's talking shit.
Is he fibbing? Is he fibbing?
Well, anyway, as I was saying, we've obviously clickbaited the title a little bit. You're very quiet, Graham. It's louder, or at least to me, you sound.
Seems fine to me.
It's just waffling. Yours just a little bit louder. Seems fine to me. Oh, yours is a little bit louder.
Maybe it's because I'm leaning in against.
Oh, yours is a little bit louder. Maybe it's because I'm. Okay, so anyway,
I'll sit back. It's fine.
Yeah, just get all the way back over there, preferably that way. You would definitely still be able to hear him just as clear from over there than you would over here.
All right, mate.
Yeah. But yeah, moving back onto the Xbox. The audio guys have got an absolute treat on their hands today, haven't they? But yeah, back into the emulation stuff. When you hear the word emulation, you kind of think is it classed as a dirty word? Are you thinking of potentially going onto these dodgy Nintendo websites that people are downloading ISOs and ROMs and stuff like that and then playing them on anything, rather than the fact that in the picture that I took a snapshot of yesterday with the Skyrim and Oblivion games and stuff like that, those games being able to get played on an Xbox that does take disc drives and it's being enhanced and you're able to play those games even though they were for previous consoles, that to me, that's still emulation. You have the physical media. If you have a PlayStation 5, nowadays you should be able to put in like a PlayStation 1 game and then have the ability to be able to play that via your PlayStation 5 rather than having to, I don't know, rip the ISO of a game that you already own, put it into your PC and then play it via an emulator on there. That for me is still classed as emulation. Forget about the download of finding the game somewhere and then downloading it and then playing it. In terms of actually owning the game and being able to play it on modern day consoles, providing that it's obviously the same brand, you played an Xbox game on an Xbox, PlayStation game on a PlayStation, that kind of emulation should be the norm, and I think that's what Xbox are doing exceptionally well with the backwards compatibility stuff. There was another article, obviously, that we mentioned earlier on this week with the fact that backwards compat is now finished. I think this was the last batch, they said, because it's just the last batch. I imagine it's due to license and stuff. They've reached out to as many game publishers and developers as they have done over the years, and this is the final list of games.
I wonder if it's down to like ever decreasing circles. So if you start going through your back catalogue and you bring in, for me, Modern Warfare 2 and things like that, okay, after that, yeah, World of War was a good game. I liked it, but I preferred the others, so I'm not going to play that. Okay. And then you start dropping off. Yeah. It's like, is the value for money there and that? So it may be a case if they've gone through enough batches to think, actually, do you know what? The amount of new users this has got us has dropped off. The cost benefit doesn't really make it worthwhile. I think that could be a part of it. But it's interesting. Is it even interesting? Like this is a whole conversation piece. How is the audio, by the way? If I'm sat a little bit further back, does that sound okay? Is it more balanced, the audio between me and Bib?
I can just go and turn your microphone down in a minute. I'll go and do that. Start the next story.
Sweet. Just let me know. Either way, so the Xbox boss wants to embrace legal emulation. Is that just because it's the Xbox boss? This is the brand that has backwards compatibility. This is the brand that has made backwards compatibility a thing. PlayStation hasn't. PlayStation's done a little bit of it. PlayStation naturally is far behind and has been at the opposite end of the conversation that he's talking about. It'd be a travesty if we lost these libraries of information like the PSP store, like the PS Vita store, like the PS3 or P or whichever one I did or didn't say, the other one. And yeah, PlayStation have been on the other end of that conversation. So Xbox has back compat. Their rivals aren't back compatible, but Xbox are having this conversation. Is it a case of he's saying, do you know what? I think it'd be good for the industry if we have legal emulation, or is he saying we've got legal emulation, mate? Also, are you not going?
I think it's bait. More than anything, I think it's more to do with the fact that we're doing something for you. Like one of the best games, one of the best wrestling games that's ever been, SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Unbelievable game. You cannot play that on your modern day Xbox or the last gen Xbox. You can only play it on your 360 because they didn't have the backwards compat on it. That is criminal. I mean, these sports games, they're always going to suffer from that anyway due to like.
Here come the pain for me, by the way.
Well, again, fantastic game. Can you play that on your PS5 now? Could you play that on your PlayStation 4? You could play it on your original PlayStation 3 because you could emulate it. You could put PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 games in it.
Yeah, if you got the 60 gig one. Or whatever
yeah. So having the ability to be able to do that, for me, should be the norm now. Everyone genuinely thought leading up to the PlayStation 5 that was going to be the case. We'd be able to play 1, 2, 3, and 4 games on your PlayStation 5. It's annoying.
The thing is, though, like they put that into place effectively because remember that first technical deep dive with Mark Cherney where everyone sat there going, he's saying words and things I don't understand, and then he shows this picture and it's like, oh, it's got like PS4 and PS5, and then there was like
massive gap.
Yeah, and it's like, what's missing from there? Is he gonna press a button and it's gonna go also bing? And he pressed his button and it went to another slide. It's like, okay, clearly maybe it was supposed to be there, but whatever reason they've done fucked up and it's
Yeah.
not there.
It could be the case. That's the reason. It's pretty much the reason why I went for PlayStation Disc Edition, because I thought at some point they may just flick a button. I mean, we didn't really have a precedent for this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Until like Nintendo decided to just allow people to be able to use Bluetooth headphones on the console just completely out of the blue. The console had the Bluetooth capabilities all its time. They just didn't have the firmware upgrade for it. Overnight, they patch it in for you, and you're able to use Bluetooth headsets. Voila. It might be the case where they just flick a button and then you can put a PS3 game in.
It literally is that though, because like he's talking about software emulation within this article. That's what it is. So it doesn't really need any new hardware within that. There's a disk drive in there which has a laser which can scan enough of the disk to get the information needed. All you need is the software that can decode that information, which is something that's like if we can have one Call of Duty game, which is 100 and something gig, an emulator would be a percent of that.
Yeah.
Easy. So, yeah, I want the industry to embrace legal emulation. It would be exceptional, and it is incredibly useful. Most people see emulation as cheap ways of accessing games illegally. I don't feel emulation needs the word legal because emulation is a process. How you do that is whether it's like driving. You don't say I'm going to legally drive home. I hope so. I mean, some people can drive illegally as well. It's just so legal emulation is coining a phrase that doesn't need to be there because we know it as streamers. We've streamed games through emulators because we don't have access to the console for that game. So an example would be PES 5, PES 6, PES 6. So PES 6, we have copies of PES 6. We didn't have the ability to have an Xbox 360 hooked up to the stream playing the game. So we could play that through an emulator, or it was the PC version, whichever one. We've got all the copies of PES 6. But as long as you own it, you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to play games and stream games. An emulator is just another way of giving you access to a license that you already have. So I'm all on board for the industry to embrace legal emulators. I also want to see PlayStation and stuff getting involved. I don't believe that this is just a straightforward. I want to see more legal emulation in the industry. I feel this is we've been doing it for ages.
Yeah. Just make it a
haven't.
lot easier for us, please. I can just plug a HDMI cable into my PS5 and then be able to play the game that I want to play that I've had physically for the last 25 years. As someone who does collect video games, usually very niche shit games that you can probably go to CEX and be able to find 40 copies of for 50p. But still stands, I want to be able to stream these games or play these games on my modern day console. I don't care if it doesn't have the upscaling. I don't care if it has the extra glossy textures or anything like that.
Don't care.
Just let me fucking play the game. I won't have to plug in dig out my PlayStation 2, get an HDMI converter, be able to upscale it a little bit so that it isn't massively grey compared to what it was like when you used to have an AV cable. Like all the technical things that you don't need to have should just be available for you there.
Yeah. Do you know what you don't need to have but could just be available for you?
Go on, mate.
An Ice Cream Uploads esports jersey.
Where do we get one of them from?
You can get them from the Ice Cream Uploads Gamers Apparel store, which if we were at home, we'd just say type exclamation mark merch. I don't think it'd work.
I think it's old enough in here for exclamation mark to work.
Okay, so
It's been in Gamers Apparel for a while.
Someone type exclamation mark merch and we'll see. Speaking of exclamation mark merch, Bacon Chin is in the chat and his... oh no, that's just the Twitter shout. His esports jersey has just arrived. We have the message. The shirt has arrived, boys. Yeah.
Merch.
Does it?
Boom, there you go.
There you go. There you go. Hoodies, esports jerseys, hats, and more from our Gamers Apparel store. They're nice. I'll need to lose the belly a tad before the modelling photos. I can relate. That's why I uber-sized so I can wear a hoodie underneath it, kind of thing, just to protect myself.
Oh, great, Graham. Connor ended up ordering me one that's 2 sizes too big, so it looks like an NFL jersey on me.
Like wearing like ice hockey Mighty Ducks kind of thing.
Yeah, I just put a load of padding underneath. I mean, I have got padding anyway. I don't think I need more padding. But you understand the process.
It's fine. It's all good. Do you know what's all good? Video games. Do you know what's... I think
this
we
is a segue.
Yeah, I was thinking we were going to something good. We're not going to something good at all. Do you not forget my segue? Do you know what's bad? Well, this stuff. We'll bring this one on screen for you now. We did jump into this yesterday, and do you know what? We could have spoken about this at length yesterday. We had an article about Bobby Kotick, CEO of Activision, knowingly...
Covering up.
Yeah, you could essentially use that. I mean, he didn't pass on the information. A cover-up is actively going out of your way to hide something. So you could argue potentially that he didn't go out of his way to hide it. He just didn't make it visible. Somebody passed like information of harassment and some horrendous stuff to him yesterday, and you'd think his duty would be to pass that on to the board, and he never did. So, do you know what? We'll stick with the words cover up. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We'll just call it a cover up. He essentially helped cover up abuse and shit at Activision. We spoke about that quite briefly yesterday. There was all sorts of nuances that we could have gone into, like Jen O'Neill. She stepped down. She's felt marginalised. She felt that she couldn't make any impact at Activision. That all came out in an article that we covered yesterday. We didn't even jump into that too much because we were pushed for time, and we'll probably not be able to get right under the bones and the skin of this one, but we'll go through it anyway. This is the next article written by Christina Alexander at The Gamer. And it says, PlayStation's Jim Ryan addresses Activision Blizzard's response to abuse allegations. The tagline says, Jim Ryan is speaking out about the mistreatment of employees at Activision Blizzard. And now into the body of the article.
Repeat that again.
Repeat what again? What?
Because they're going to say the exact same thing in the opening line of this.
Oh, okay.
Always.
As always. Yeah, title, tagline, first line. Nice, let's go. PlayStation CEO... I got distracted, to be fair. I was like... I thought it was the Twitch fart meter on the side of the screen.
No.
For me. It's Twitter verifies Amaranth, while basically every other site bans her. Nice, great. So PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan has spoken out about Activision Blizzard's inadequate response to the bombshell report from the Wall Street Journal alleging that Bobby Kotick knew of the sexual misconduct and harassment allegations for years and defending the offenders, but lied about it to his shareholders. As reported by Bloomberg, Ryan criticised the way Activision Blizzard handled the sexual abuse and harassment allegations that were reported in the article in an internal email to his employees, where he cited and linked the story. He wrote that he and his leadership were, quote, disheartened and frankly stunned to read, end quote, that Activision to this very day hasn't done much of anything to properly address its toxic and misogynistic company culture of abuse and harassment. Quote, we outreached to Activision immediately after the article was published to express our deep concern and to ask how they plan to address the claims made in the article, Ryan wrote. We do not believe their statement of response properly address the situation. Statements of response, should I say, properly address the situation, end quote. Sony has had a close relationship with Activision for several decades. The companies have frequently collaborated on elaborate marketing deals for most of the games Activision published on PlayStation consoles, such as Call of Duty and Crash Bandicoot. Soon after the Wall Street Journal story went live, more than 150 Activision Blizzard employees staged a walkout and called for the immediate resignation of Kotick, who stands accused of not only contributing to the sexual misconduct scandal, but also stopping HR from terminating an executive accused of sexual harassment, threatening to kill a former staff member he harassed himself, and firing a flight attendant after the pilot of his private plane sexually assaulted her. The company's board of directors released a statement defending the CEO, which prompted shareholders to call for his resignation as well. Meanwhile, Blizzard's former co-leader Jen O'Neill said she had been paid less than her male counterpart Mikey Barra ever since she was hired for the role in August, and that she experienced harassment as early in her career as 2007. She even claimed that she was offered equal pay only after she resigned from her position. Of course they did. They realised, oh, fuck, but how can we, we'll give you back pay? Travesty.
Yeah, this has got no signs of slowing down, has it? Genuinely, like, it makes me think now, you know, the HR stuff that we covered maybe about 2 months ago now, about them shredding all of the accusations and all of the people who came forward and wanted to talk about it to HR. Makes me think that he maybe instructed them to get rid of the evidence in the first place.
It's possible. It's possible because you hear stuff like this. Like before any of this, I'll be like, do you know what? That's pretty ludicrous things to say. We don't have any proof of that, by the way. But that's the point. We don't have proof, so it is a ludicrous thing to suggest something like that. People wouldn't do that, but people also wouldn't do any of the other stuff that's been suggested as well. And at this point where you've seen people going out of their way to keep shits in positions, then where can you draw the line at things being ludicrous? Because it seems like the ludicrous is commonplace in all of this situation.
But yeah, there's I think one of the biggest things that's going to happen to them now is having things like not the staff walking out, because clearly they couldn't give a shit about that. But the shareholders obviously telling them what to do rather than the board going, do you know what? It sounds like a jolly boys out, and do you know what I mean? It just sounds like people who are trying to cover up each other's tracks, and eventually the truth will come out. But the fact that Activision and PlayStation are now commenting on this, considering that they do have some sort of tie-in, whether or not it's just marketing related, or the fact that the Call of Duty maps come to PlayStation first before they come to Xbox. They say that PlayStation seems to give them the special treatment. Is that going to hurt their pockets? Is this the thing that's going to make them go, actually, we really need this money. We need them to be on side. We need PlayStation to be in our corner. Forget about what everyone else is saying. PlayStation know as much as we do at this point, and they're the people that are standing up for the people who are walking out. What does that say about the company that you potentially work for? I mean, obviously, you already know it's horrendous, but if other companies are standing up for you, you probably need to get out of there. Being honest.
I mean that's a big thing. There was. I mean, this article mentions that not only has there been a walkout, and not only has PlayStation spoken out. We'll come back to that PlayStation bit because obviously that's a huge story on its own. But shareholders had started to say, okay, we've lost faith in Bobby Kotick. However, just a bit of a counter on that one. This is a tweet that I saw yesterday from Jason Schreier saying, "I'm seeing a lot of big reactions to this story." It's on a quote tweet from Shannon Liao. He says, basically, her tweet is talking about shareholders asking for his head. He says, but some important context. This group, the SOC, owns 4.8 million shares, or just 0.6% of Activision. SOC has been criticising Kotick for a long time. So this isn't a turnaround or a shift in view from them. So basically, that could be a case of headlines being made to represent something else. Shareholders want Bobby Kotick out. You see that and you think, fuck. Yep. But if it's a minority shareholder that's always wanted him out, then it's just an article that's just been printed to make it sound a bit bigger than it is. Don't actually know if that's had any ripple effects. That's just me offering balance to that situation. So if you're wondering why he's still there, if you're wondering why, if the shareholders want him gone, why is he still there? Because that could just be 0.6% of shareholders. Mm-hmm. But back into the PlayStation article, Jim Ryan of PlayStation. I have never known a first party like that talk about a brand that they are heavily in bed with so openly in that sort of sense.
And honestly, the man is saying it with his chest at this point.
We invite you to tell us how you're going to sort shit out, basically.
To the world, it's not even as if it's a private email. Obviously, the email has gone round to his employees, telling them basically that they want things to change over there. But he knew full well that this was going to go out to the media, so he's kind of done it a little bit slyly and behind the back, but he knows full well it's going to catch fire and people are going to start talking.
The thing is, though, is like if he's done it slyly and behind the back and they go, yeah, well, we've leaked it to the press. He's like, I was talking to my employees. Maybe that's something you should have been doing all along, and then you wouldn't have been in this situation.
Yeah. I mean, look, obviously you can see this on the screen, but this is their share prices as it stands. Like,
press F11, and then I'll
volume up on this.
Okay. I was just going to say
Just get to turn the volume. No, it's a brightness. Sorry.
Will we be in the way? No, we're good. We're good. So there you go.
So this is the share prices as of Tuesday, and then obviously the news broke yesterday. It gone. It's kind of stabled out a little bit, and then this morning it's gone again. So
I mean, you both love and hate to see it. You hate to see that happening to a company that makes games that have been a staple of your life, and you hope potentially would be a staple of your life going forward. You hate to see that, but you love to see horrible people get their comeuppance, and sometimes people have to lose out for people to benefit.
Absolutely, and especially when one of your biggest allies starts to criticise you. You probably think, okay, something needs to happen probably now. I
think the only thing worrying that is that I'll come off this. The only thing worrying that for shareholders is, if Bobby Kotick goes, the share price inevitably will drop. It will, because you've got a man that has earned, forgetting all of the stuff that's going on now, he's earned the company billions upon billions of dollars. He's at least financially steadied the ship. Maybe not as an actual human being internally, but financially, he's making money. So shareholders love the money. You get rid of him, that's instantly okay, we know he can earn us money. can the next Bobby Kotick earn us money? Do you know what? Let's sell the shares. We might buy them back later on, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
So stockholders don't want someone like Bobby Kotick to leave. If you're wondering why you're still there, that's why you're still there, because it's when it gets down to stocks and shares, it's pure business, and getting rid of him is a loss that could lead to cultural acceptance, but cultural acceptance in terms of social high fives from doing the right thing doesn't necessarily mean to lead to business. And the stock exchange, when you're looking at green charts like that, is business. So that's why he's still there, because him going would cost the company millions.
I mean, don't forget though, he has been like, over the last 18 months, especially since COVID and stuff like that, he has been in headlines left, right, and centre. Not just for reasons that have been coming out for the last couple of months. I'm talking about hundreds of staff that have had to be let go because they can't afford to keep them on because of COVID. Yet he was getting, I can't remember this, it was a stupid amount of money.
Fighting for like however many millions of pounds bonus kind of thing.
So again, does he come across as a particularly nice person? No. I think he's probably one of the worst people you could probably come across in a business sense. They're keeping him there, but do you think, I wonder how much influence he has in terms of the games coming out and things like that now. Like, is he still leading that? I mean, he only seems to pop out. His face only seems to pop out when a new game is coming out. Like, if they was to replace him with somebody else, are they still going to be the daily driver of these games? Because 10 years ago, fair enough, he may have had he has had a massive help in getting Call of Duty to become a household name. But can someone just come in and fill that gap?
I think they can do, because he's at that level where he's branched out of the to use media film phrase. He's no longer on the cutting room floor. He's no longer involved hands-on in the production. He's gone out past the directors and the producing stuff. He's in corporate suites now. He's the guy at the top of the film studios, not the guy working on the film.
Yeah.
So he doesn't touch the games anymore. So that point, you just swap an exec with an exec.
Yeah.
So I think they could swap him in that sort of sense. I mean, the issue is, like I say, is the sturdiness that he has. That much success breeds that much money. It takes something difficult. Like look at Harvey Weinstein. I don't know enough about that story to make accurate comparisons, so this could be flawed. This comparison, by the way, do feel free to criticize my comparison. But Harvey Weinstein was a shit. There's stronger words than that, but I'll just stick with that one for now. He was a shit, but because of the success that he'd brought the industry that he was in, he was untouchable. And not everyone is as bad as Harvey Weinstein, but some people that are in those positions that are untouchable are just incompetent. And there was a good quote I was listening to, kind of funny, this morning, and Gary Whitter, who's a man that doesn't mince his words, he says what he feels. He says he either knew about it and has actively tried to hide it all this time, which makes him a fucking horrible person.
Accomplice, nearly.
Yeah. Or he didn't know about it. And he's bumbled around it and not realised, which then makes him grossly negligent, which means he shouldn't be in the job anyway. So he's either not suitable for the job or not suitable for the job.
Yeah.
So that, when you break it down like that, it's kind of a no-brainer. It's if people have had that much shit on your watch, then you've not been watching.
Yeah. I just had to Google it. His name completely went out of my head, but Reggie, who used to obviously
Fils-Aimé.
Yeah, it used to be the CEO over at Nintendo. Like, could you not just wheel him in Funtime Reggie? You know what I mean?
Just imagine the doors opening. Reggie goes, "So who are we here for a meeting for? This is Activision."
I mean, if they could wheel him in, like, he probably will never want to take that job ever. I mean, if you wanted to sort out your culture, I mean, I don't know enough about the Nintendo culture to say that it seemed like a nice enough place to be able to work. You don't really hear that many negative stories coming out from Nintendo. It seems like a very family orientated place. I mean, again, I could be well off the mark.
I've heard Nintendo is very Japanese corporate,
yeah, well,
so it's not always dreamboats and rainbows,
no.
but that's corporate working. That's like, that kind of is what it is. There's a difference between being very corporate and even being very corporate and not allowing you all the creative freedom in the world to hiding rape.
Yeah.
Because rape is a fucking horrible word that I don't like to use very often, and I've had to use it like 3-4 times already this week talking about Activision. And if that is something that you have to do, just even having that word being mentioned consistently shows that on its own is that. Do you know what? Reggie would turn his back. He'd be like, "There's nothing I can do here. There's nothing I can do here."
He'd never be able to walk into. But I tell you what, it would get their share prices right back up there again. As soon as he walks through the door, it's kind of like nearly touching gold every single time. So if they wanted to fix it, they could bring him in. But again, that's just me throwing out ridiculous rubbish there for you. But again, if he leaves, who's going to come in? Who's going to be the person that turns it around again?
It needs someone with
A backbone.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to use the word big cojones, which is actually not a great phrase because that's their modus operandi. Do you have balls? Well, you can have a job and we'll pay you more than if you don't. So maybe not cojones. Spine is the good word. Speaking about who could fix it, do you know what? Modders probably could.
I wondered where the fuck you were going with that then.
That is our next story. I will jump into it in just a second. Let me just jump through the comments first, though. How's that Activision stock looking today? Fuck 'em, says Bacon Chin. Tearsbud says, like I said, played WoW for 16 years, and now I say, fuck you, Blizzard. We'll never go back to them ever again. See, I agree with the sentiment. I don't necessarily agree with the practice in terms of bad people leading Activision is also bad people leading a lot of good people. Yeah. So I'm not against forms of boycott. Just I would never promote full boycotts off like a blanket boycott. By all means, blanket forever if it completely deserves it. But yeah, naturally.
I never wanted to play it again because, like you say, the people who are creating the games are the people ultimately that have been suffering and will continue to suffer if everyone boycotts the games. It's a vicious circle that you can't really do much about. It's annoying.
Yeah. So yeah, basically boycott. If they sort their shit out, then the people that have been hard done to are the people that you could be supporting. The downside is you're always going to be supporting the people higher up. But do you know what? Make your own decisions. That's the beauty of it. You make your own informed decisions. Viv says, I believe the gaming scene / industry will back a company more than before for the cultural changes being brought in. Shares will drop and suffer, but the end customer experience and show of pounds may improve. Yeah. Content creators will have a large say in this, especially those in gender-positive equality / equality dispositions. Absolutely, and that's the thing, is that's growing, and it can't grow fast enough for me. I mean, it actually can't grow fast enough because the amount of time that it would take to have that much of an impact on the stock market, we're still a while off from that being shareholders being able to go get rid of Bobby Kotick. I know we're going to lose the shit, but we'll lose all of the goodwill. We are getting to a world, slowly getting to a world where that, but sadly, it just obviously slowly takes time.
The customer experience thing that should be the last thing on their minds. If I'm being perfectly honest, regardless of the product that comes into our hands has to be made by someone who's there. So if their working space is that horrific, and they just don't feel comfortable being there, then for me, I'd tell them to walk away and go and find somewhere else. You're clearly talented enough to be at Activision Blizzard. I'm fairly certain you'll be able to walk into another. It's very rich coming from someone who has no experience in doing that and trying to find a job. I imagine where California or where Montreal, wherever it may be. But it's our experience once we get the products into our hands. That should be the final thing. Them being able to go to work and have a good experience and not have wankers leading them. Is probably
it's like the fact that it's like, do we want to build people that will hire people that will build the best experience for our consumers? That should be at the forefront of your mind. But you're saying that should be the end thing. It is, but like that should be the end thing, because the thing that's the first thing, which should never even consider being the first thing, is just treating people like actual people. That shouldn't be a first thing. That should just be.
Make your staff want to be able to come into work in the morning rather than dread it, and then hopefully your product at the end of it will be fine. I mean, Activision Blizzard can pretty much just throw out any old shit nowadays, and people will end up buying it. But, in terms of people working there, you'd want people from other companies wanting to be able to work there. And at the moment, I think it's entirely the other way around.
Yeah, people want it. How do I get out? Where else can I go?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like Activision Blizzard was like, think of like the games they've got in their roster. Any like decent developer over the last decade would have been like yeah, okay, I'd take a job at Activision. If we've got a new Call of Duty, a new Hearthstone, a new whatever, yeah, I'd love to steer that ship. Now it's like, do I even get to steer it? Am I just going to get blamed? Yeah. So yeah. Tazbad says, but in post they blamed us players for their problems. Look at how many players in WoW have dropped. I mean, there's all sorts of things there though. Like players in WoW dropping isn't the complete picture though. It's like how many paying players, people like what they call the cash cows or the money whales, how many of those have left? Because you get a lot of people that prop up communities of games, and if they haven't left, then the shareholders are like, yeah, okay, we've dropped a few players, but we're still earning shitloads of money. So it's probably just a seasonal thing. Yeah, and that stuff happens all the time. Like you do get seasonal drops. Also, a new DLC will spike players, and that's when we see, sadly, just how fickle, not even fickle, how unaware the video game market is. Probably we're in the top 20, maybe even top 10% of awareness seeking, for want of better words, players. We want to know what's happening in the industry. We're all sat here talking about this now because we are hardcore fans, effectively. More of the casual gamers out there won't even know who Bobby Kotick is and will have never heard of any of these stories and gone, yeah, I just stopped playing WoW because there's not been any decent expansions, but there's one coming out next month. Nice, so I'll start playing it then.
Yeah.
And the numbers will just spike back up.
We are the minority. As much as we think that we are in the mix and we are the voice of the communities and stuff like that, genuinely we are a drop in the ocean. Yeah. The average consumer, the wrongly labelled casual gamers make up the absolute majority. So again, like you said, the half of them won't even know who Bobby Kotick is. So,
and not only that, shareholders are probably more than most the people that will back someone in a pickle. Because if you've got someone that can get a company through a turgid time, then the chances are that person will be able to do it next time and the next time and the next time more than someone fresh coming in. So they might be thinking, okay, we've got a little bit of shit in the fan, or a lot of shit in the fan actually this time, but we've had a lot of shit in the fan before, and Bobby saw us through that, so let's just stick with him because I started out with putting $3,000 into this pot. I've got $72,000, so he's gonna keep it going.
It's like what Taylor's bad saying there. That's what I love about New World, the new patch dropping now. Who's that made by?
Amazon, which is a great company to work for.
Yeah.
By the way, we're streaming on Twitch, which is owned by Amazon, by the way, so that's quite ironic of us saying that. But yeah, it's just another one of those situations though. Like Amazon and Jeff Bezos, he's also not the greatest person when it comes to.
Well, Jeff.
So yeah, so yeah, Jeff, we know you check in all the time because you're basically our boss. So we told you we're not going to be silenced, mate.
I love you, bald dad. But I mean, what you could do if you leave, just go and play ESO.
Yeah.
Go and play ESO.
Just try and bib some ESO streams.
You'll be much happier.
You got any plans playing ESO anytime soon, Bib?
I've got plans to be able to play the old Rim on Sunday.
bit of rimming on stream.
A bit of rimming on Sunday, yes.
Sunday morning rimming with Bibby.
Exactly,
Nice.
Exactly.
On that bombshell, let's move ahead. Talking about fixing things, I did the half segue and then just abandoned the segue to go back into the chat. Modders have been fixing things, as you can see. With the next article from Jordan Midler at VGC, modders have begun fixing the GTA Trilogy following last week's backlash. Fixes include an adjustment to the infamous New Rain effect. So a group of users on the popular modding site Nexus Mods have begun fixing some of the glaring issues in the GTA Trilogy, the definitive edition, following its generally poor reception last week. The most popular mod titled Better Rain. What a name. What do you want? Better Rain. When do you want it? Now. Better Rain features a description that reads, "This mod changes awful rain in this game. It is much lighter and better looking now." End quote. This mod has been downloaded almost 4,000 times in just over a day. Other mods include the reintroduction of the original menu sounds in GTA 3 and GTA Vice City, a more simple reticle, and more vehicle variety. The much-mocked CJ's Girl character model also gets a makeover thanks to modders, as well as things as simple as fixing the Tough Nut Donuts logo, which was incorrectly smoothed in the remaster. These mods follow fan backlash following the release of the trilogy. Recently, Take-Two has been issuing several DMCA strikes against the modding community for several GTA games, suggesting that these mods may not belong for this world.
Yeah, the bottom of it's just talking about the normal GTA stuff.
Remasters. Do you know, like if you scroll to the CJ's Girl image, like the one obviously on the left is the Rockstar image. The one on the right, which is better and more defined, is the one that's done by the community image. The one on the left just reminds me of a Teletubby.
No, do you know what it reminds me of? You know, when you have the original Wii and you have to quit your me. She looks like a me.
Do you know what it also reminds me of? It probably doesn't look anything like it now, but in my mind, do you know that? What? Like that strange, like white lemur cat thing? It looks kind of like that. What?
Oh, we need to move ourselves. Mad shed.
No. There you go.
There we go. Boom. Yeah, slightly better.
So yeah, the one on the left is actual in-game content. The one on the right is improved community content. You got to shout out to the community massive. Let's go.
Did you see the Doom one that I put in yesterday?
The rain.
Yeah.
Like they put the rain into Doom and you couldn't see anything.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, it says it all on the left-hand side here. The reviews, 3 and 2 stars. Like, this has to be one of the most anticipated games from my perspective. Getting to play Vice City in with modern control schemes and everything. I mean, there isn't much that we can say about GTA now that we haven't already said and agreed with in terms of how shit it has been. It saved me 45 quid anyway, because I was going to buy it, but I went to London. Come back from London, I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah,
I'm going to wait.
Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I keep talking about how the fact that this, like I said, is hugely polarizing. Cyberpunk wasn't hugely polarizing. It was, some people had a good time. Most people had a shocking time. This, a lot of people have had a terrible time with it, dislike it, feel it's a cash grab and stuff like that. But some people have really liked it, obviously, because some people, it just gives you enough of the nostalgia and you don't look at the detail enough to truly take it in. But yeah, it's just not great. It's not great at all. Which
the rain splashes on the floor actually look okay. I mean, you could probably get away with that. It's not the best looking rain that you're probably ever going to see, but in terms of how it's coming down, it's like hail.
And then what is it just randomly stopping in the sea for? Like there's a line where you can just see it kind of going around. But what was I going to say? I was going to say something. I can't remember. I was going to say something else, but that was it. Yeah, there's other mods in there like the better rain. Okay, that's just lazy and shit. The tough nut that's been rounded is lazy and missed. No one's giving it the quality. That tough nuts donuts was designed by someone that wanted to have a little bit of personality in there, a little bit of a joke led into it. There was clearly no consulting the person that made that, because it got smoothed out and nobody even picked up on it at all. They didn't notice, which shows hands-off laziness, which is disappointing. That stuff being fixed, I completely agree with. It should never have made it in the game. People adjusting like the sounds of menus and stuff, that's down to original preference. If you want the bling, 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 like certain old GTA sounds for me just sound old, and I feel like I'm playing something. I get the nostalgia, but I didn't play the game to hear menu clunks. I played the game to play the game, and if I can play the game all modern stuff, then I don't mind it having a bit more modern stuff. If it was completely jarring sounds, fair enough, but for me, old sounds in a game that's been definitively remastered, that's
I can understand that to a degree, because if I played Resident Evil 2 remake and I went into the RPD for the first time and the specific sound wasn't being played, instant 1 out of 10.
See, that's
all the savoury music.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like, that's big stuff though. Nobody ever thinks about the GTA menus though, really, because I can't even remember what the GTA menus were like. I mean, I know like obviously in-game stuff.
It sounds like car horns, doesn't it, when you're going through? Like,
yeah,
that was horrific, by the way.
I thought I just jumped into a plane into the battle bus on Fortnite. That's what I was thinking.
Back on the M60.
No, I was thinking. So yeah, battle busing it over here. Easy, babe. So yeah, GG's to the modders, not so much GG's to the GTAs.
They'll get there eventually.
They will. Trust is what I would say. But also remember, because I do believe in Rockstar's ability to fix this, and I do believe Rockstar does not like being shit at things. Rockstar doesn't do being shit at things, and you can guarantee that this won't have gone down well internally. doesn't excuse the fact that it was released in the way it is, in the form it is. I don't agree. No one can change my mind on that. My opinion on that has been made. This is not good enough. It's a shame because this is something that I've got a lot of passion for. These games, particularly 2 out of the 3, have got massive nostalgia for me, as they will have for a million people, billions of people. The way they've treated this is not good enough. And I won't forget that, but I will happily accept that they can do that right. And when they do, then fair enough. The same way that Cyberpunk will sit in my drawer until that's fixed, and then I will play it. So not happy with it, but I will forget and forgive. I'll forgive and forget rather than just forget it ever happened.
Yeah.
There we go. Nice. Okay, final story of the day. There we go. I was trying to figure out what button I needed to press. Couldn't figure it out.
One for the Tito man, then.
I didn't even use this one. Modders have begun fixing GTA Trilogy. There you go. You can see it. And now it's gone. As we jump into our final news story of the day. This one is sponsored by Tito25 in the chat. It's not really, but it could be. As Tom Ivan at VGC says, Xbox Cloud Gaming has officially launched for consoles. It's available to Xbox owners with a Game Pass Ultimate subscription.
Viv's already been in and tested this morning.
I did see. I was actually in a meeting, and my phone buzzed, and I clicked. Do you know when? I don't know if you do it on yours. I'll show you. So my iPhone, it's locked.
Yeah.
If I press a button, it still locks, but it lights up. Whereas if I move it enough, it lights up.
It's like a gesture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But every now and then you move it and it doesn't, so you end up tapping the screen to wake it up, which is annoying because if it wakes up and then you tap the screen and it scans your face and it takes you straight into the app and you're like, fuck. So that happened to me when I was in the meeting. My phone buzzed, I looked for it, I tapped it, and I went straight into the conversation that you were having with Viv about this. But I'll save spoilers. I'll jump into the article. So it's now available for Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One owners with an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription. Actually, let me start again because I've just started with it's now. For anyone that may have just joined us, you won't know what I'm talking about, so I'll read it again. So Microsoft has officially launched Xbox Cloud Gaming for consoles. It's now available for the Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One owners with an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription in 25 regions, with Brazil to follow. Quote, this capability will initially roll out with our November release to a subset of Xbox gamers and scale to all gamers in supported markets over the coming weeks, said Xbox Cloud Gaming head Catherine Gluckstein. Xbox Cloud Gaming allows players to access Xbox Game Pass titles without downloading them and jump into multiplayer sessions with friends for games that aren't installed on the physical console. It also enables Xbox One owners to play selected Xbox Series X and S games like Recompile, The Medium, and the Rift Breaker via cloud gaming. We will also continue to support this capability and expand our cloud game library to include more next-gen games like Microsoft Flight Simulator in early 2022, said Gluckstein. We'll stop there. We don't need to go anymore. That last bit, though, I mean, there's some cool stuff which we'll jump into in terms of what Tito I say Tito. It was Viv that did it. It was on the back of a Tito sort of conversation when I saw it. Oh, Tito wrapped it up. Anyway, about playing games without installing them. Before we get to that, though, the fact that you can now on an Xbox One play Xbox Series X games, that is fucking incredible. Mm-hmm. Thoughts, babe?
Yes. The most annoying thing about this, though, is that it has been tested. I actually tried this yesterday on my PC, on this laptop, right here, on this very laptop. I loaded up Halo Infinite to be able to jump in and have a game. It's a bit shit. It'll run quite well, but then it'll just be like, have you ever watched a dodgy football stream? And it'll just...
No.
Sorry. Thinking of something else that won't get you thrown into prison.
I've not watched anything dodgy on the internet. Continue.
Okay, have you ever streamed anything on the internet before and your internet has decided to have a little bit of... Well, you're on Sky, of course.
Yeah.
It's going to have
everything.
Everything.
Like the streams.
Yes. So, has your stream ever looked like, again, a smashed lasagna? Has it ever started to go like pinky, orange, and then it'll freeze, and then it'll continue about 5 seconds later? That's kind of like what it happened, and we've got fantastic speeds in this office. I've got pretty good speeds at home. This is aimed at probably like the top 5% that are able to be able to do this.
Are you NASA?
Yeah. Do you have like a 14 terabyte download connection and the 13 terabyte upload connection, because that is exactly what I think this is going to take.
I have 14 terrible bytes coming down. That's it, literally. That's it.
Well, Viv mentioned that he's got 200 download and 20
up.
upload, which that's
more than enough.
Yeah, more than enough. Like, what's the minimum spec? Because I think the minimum to stream anything on Netflix is like 4
meg.
Yeah, and that's for 1080. Like, obviously, it'll take a little bit more if you've got a 4K stick and you're paying for that subscription. It might end up going to like 8 megabyte down, but yeah, you need a lot for this. So I don't know who this is aimed at. It's a fantastic thing. Like, if you've got 5G on your mobile and you've got Game Pass on your mobile, it'll probably run pretty sweet on that. But yeah, for this at this moment in time, it doesn't work that well in my opinion. Again, because I tried this yesterday on my laptop and it wasn't the best. I've also tried it about 3 months ago on my PC at home, which is actually pretty good. It's hardwired. I tried playing Forza Horizon on it. It's just blotty. It's just, you can't really get a good experience of it just yet. Well, I understand that and accept that in my area of the world and the country, we just don't have the facilities unless you are actually putting your own business line in.
We ain't got the facilities for that, big man.
Yeah, we don't. Unless you're actually paying for a direct line of a stupid amount to be able to get plugged in, and then you end up getting like the gigabyte downloads and stuff like that. I'm not sure that this is going to. Again, we'll just have to wait and see. This time in 12 months, we might be in a better position. But we said this 2 years ago for Stadia, and look where we are with that. So I don't know.
It's a wonder of technology that it exists. The fact that we can jump into multiplayer sessions with friends without having to download games. Yesterday, Tito randomly said, "Do you know what? I'm going to jump in and play some PUBG if you'll take me." Usually it's just me and Lotus playing duos on Wednesdays, but it was like, okay, this is Tito's actually good. Go on then, let's go. Nice. So he jumped in. After realising that he'd somehow managed to uninstall PUBG and had to reinstall PUBG, which took 40 minutes for it to download and stuff. Yeah. So 40 minutes later, he managed to jump in, had a couple of games, and gone. Whereas if he'd have had that, they'd have been jumped in straight and have been fine. I mean, it wouldn't have been fine because obviously the latency, the lag and stuff is clearly not there. It's only just launching and not everywhere. The fact it's not even in places like Brazil. Brazil, stereotypically, I don't know, do correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't have the greatest online infrastructure. So is that why Brazil's late? Because if it's fucking blocky and pinky smashed lasagna for us, imagine what it's going to be like in Brazil. So love it. I love it. Xbox, I'm all for it. The fact that it's not a paid extra, and I wonder why, the fact it's not a paid extra is exceptional. The fact that this is all something that Xbox Game Pass players get access to as an extra. So maybe if I'm in a hotel and I want to play Football Manager or something like that, and I've not got anything with me, I can just load up my phone and just
for games like that, it'll be amazing. For point-and-click adventures, it'll be amazing. For anything that relies on speed and reflexes, that's where the problem's going to
100%. And I like you said in the comments earlier on, Viv tried to play PUBG and it was terrible. And you said it's not like Battle Royale requires speed and reflexes and stuff like that. Ugh. So yeah, the games I would play mostly, I mean, I don't play Football Manager. The reason I use that as a specific example was because it's something that you can... Yeah. So that might be something I can play. And I'm on board for it being included as a freebie and something that builds.
It's only available with Ultimate, Xbox Ultimate, which is... I pay £11 for it, but that's the cheaper version. I think there's one for 14. Don't know what extra it entails, but I get this perk with mine.
Is it console?
No, it's I just bought the Xbox Ultimate Game Pass for PC, but I'm able to use it on console. Figure that one out. I've just been robbing them for £4 every month, I think. But yeah, I mean, the paywall is that it has to be the Ultimate. It can't just be your normal Xbox Game Pass stuff. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, either way, the fact that it's thrown in, it's fine. I mean, if the players that have got Game Pass are the ones that like Ultimate and stuff, are the ones that are going to benefit from the most anyway. So yeah, I'm happy for it. It's not great. You've got to break some eggs to get the old omelettes, which clearly this is broken eggs. But you know what? It's all right. It's all right. Everyone likes a little bit of an egg every now and then.
I love omelettes, Graham.
Yeah. So yeah. There you go. Do you know what? We love finishing the show right early on time. It's like what? It must be getting close to 11. 11 now.
Oh yeah, so close.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, it's a little bit late. If you are joining us, it's nearly 2 in the afternoon. We aren't doing afternoon streams. This is our morning stream that fell into the afternoon. So if you have been through the stream with us, we appreciate it. Let me jump back through the comments in the chat that we missed. That rain was fucking tragic, says Madge. See, I keep saying Madge because I'm used to saying Madge
That's
whenever I
right.
see. Yeah, I know, but like because I'm used to seeing.
that at home. It must just be on a computer basis.
I think it will. It's probably
Because I've changed that to Mike and Cal because the other Madge come in and it throws me off.
Yeah, well, I knew that was Mike, but like I said, I said Madge because I'm used to reading the name there. But my instant, so I'll say I usually call him Madge, and then I add a Mike afterwards, just so that
Madge Mike.
yeah. Where do we get to? We can't see one. You're in the way. We moved eventually. Did Rockstar use the same guy that did the football imagery? Bibby the Battle Bus. And then might legitimately be 2077 before Cyberpunk is fixed. Possibly.
Maybe.
Let's hope GTA Trilogy doesn't take that long to get fully fixed. And do you know what? I think just tighten it up is not enough now. They kind of need to save face. They need to go, okay, we're going to fix the textures and then fucking smash the textures and then give a discount or something like that. So there needs to be something extra now. GTA need to go above and beyond to save some face there. That said, they're just talking about GTA 6 and everyone forgets. So.
Blindside them.
Yeah. Anyway, we're done now. Thank you for joining us for another episode of The Scoop. We appreciate you all joining us, as you do 5 times a week minimum. Although it's usually more like 9 times a week when you count the 2 Wednesday and Thursday evening streams, plus the Saturday and the Sunday morning streams. Speaking of the Thursday evening stream, it's Thursday today, Mr. Bibb.
It most certainly is.
You got any plans for streaming tonight?
Yes, I do. I'm going to be jumping back in with some FIFA. It's been 2 weeks since I've actually booted it up to play because I've just been obsessed again with playing Skyrim. So that's going to be interesting. I do have some Pro Clubs action kicking off at 8 o'clock, but we'll be live well before then, around about 6:30, traffic dependent, with some Ultimate Team. I haven't done any SBCs. I've got nothing to open because I didn't do any squad battles or anything. So we will literally just be jumping in, getting our asses kicked, wishing I was playing Skyrim, and then we'll jump into some Pro Clubs at 8 o'clock.
Let's go.
Let's go.
You got any plans for the Pro Clubs? Are you jumping in with anyone else, or is it?
I can't actually remember who's playing tonight. I don't think Vern's playing. I don't think Precision's playing. So and Toffee, if he's in the chat, I know he's obviously the gaffer.
Just a Bibby show.
Bibby show, yeah. Just be me waffling, I think.
Well, if you want to see that, jump in from about 6:30 tonight, twitch.tv/AshramUpload. You can see Bibby play some FIFA 22. We will be back with another scoop at 10 o'clock-ish tomorrow morning, our last scoop of the week. And then we get to the weekend when you get 2 extra streams. Don't forget, Saturday, Sunday morning, you can jump in for some PUBG and for some Skier in, as that's what it's called, right?
Chief Rimmer.
Oh, nice. Chief Rimmer, baby, for your Sunday morning Sky rimming. Nice. Until then, though, have yourselves a fantastic... Actually, before that, Mr. Bibb, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, you know where to find us by now. We don't need to drag this one out, but if you want to help shape tomorrow's show, there's 2 ways you can find us. First of all, find us on social media, Ice Cream, across all major social media. This is like that bit at the end of the RFC commercial, isn't it? Yeah, go into the description below. You go in the description below. You find all our links out, and if you use the URL plus your 1,000 impressions, we will then give you our 1,000 impressions on the very next show. I feel like Twister. I feel like Twister, but yeah, you know the vibe. We'll be here tomorrow.
Eminem over here with Rap God. Bibbing in.
Anyway, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. ish.
Yeah, 10 a.m. ish. Until then, have a lovely day, and remember to stay frosty.